Howdy, y'all. Welcome back. Today I've got a special interview lined up. I won a one-on-one session with We Are the Bonsai Supplies, Jerome. And he's got a brand new book coming out. I pre-ordered it, and I was lucky enough to win a one-on-one session in a raffle. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna start looking at this interview. It was really just an amazing time talking to him. He imparts so much knowledge and just an all-around fun guy to talk to. So without further ado, check this out. So happy you agreed to do a little interview, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for, thinking of me and for having me today.
Well, it's just, it really got started with your YouTube is where I really started getting more and more into bonsai. And you awesome. Really are an inspiration. So I'm a bit starstruck to speak to you.
That means a lot because that's what the YouTube channel is for, to inspire new people to get started in the art. So that it actually works is good to hear.
So you're actually doing a lot for us in the bonsai community, especially us beginners, just getting started and everything. So I really appreciate you once again. And I was doing a lot of research on you, and I didn't want to do like a normal interview where you say the same things over and over. You're from, Switzerland, right?
Switzerland, yes.
Yeah, and we don't want to confuse that with Sweden, right? We don't want to do that now.
Hey, you're not the first one, and you won't be the last one.
That's great. So I guess the first question I want to ask you is, how do you take your coffee?
That's a good question. I actually take my coffee just black with honey. And speaking of coffee.
That's right, my man. Are you so I'm in the coffee industry. I'm an espresso machine technician by trade. So okay. I'm always around coffee. So what kind of coffee brew do you prefer? Do you like a drip, a pour over, espresso?
At home, I have the drip, and it's set for 6:30 a.m. and then it turns on. And that's pretty much, I've had this coffee for years, and I never changed it up. So in Switzerland, I used to drink a lot of espresso, European. So,
of course.
But now that I'm in America, I prefer a little bit of a weaker coffee. So that's why the drip is really good.
Yeah, I like to switch it up. I'm an espresso drinker, 100%. I drink it straight up neat. Nothing fancy
Really?
to drink it. That's my favorite way of drinking it. I used to hate coffee like 6 years ago. So
really?
I really hop into things. I don't know if you know that, but I like to dive into every aspect of something that I'm very interested in. And bonsai is one of those. And, I first heard about your channel from Nigel Saunders, the Bonsai Zone.
Oh, cool.
You guys were talking to him. I think you visited him in Toronto there.
Yeah.
And what I really like about Nigel is the same thing I like about you. You really don't hold anything back. Everything is open, and you're open to say lots of things in your techniques. There's no secrets that you keep to yourself. So that being said, at least that I know of. So are there any secrets that you keep to yourself, any techniques?
No, not secrets. There are some things that I am not showing on our YouTube channel just yet, such as like grafting, like different types of like root grafts or scion grafts or thread grafts or anything like that. Just because I haven't gotten to that stage yet, and that's a little bit too advanced right at the moment. So I wouldn't say I'm keeping it as a secret. I'm just not putting it out there just yet. I'm working towards that.
It's not ready to show, I guess.
Exactly.
I like that idea. I mean, your bonsai channel's 5-6 years old? Is that right? A couple of years old?
I want to say it's less than that. I think it's 4.5 years old now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, someone in their progression of bonsai, like starting 4 years ago, I guess it seems to me that you want to like kind of progress to grafting when it seems an appropriate time for your channel, and the growth is enough that, okay, we've done everything else and the grafting is up next there. That's
exactly, yeah. I mean, that's a very good point of looking at it. And yeah. I think you're spot on.
Yeah, and what I like about your channel a lot is your progression. You don't just show what happened when you presented it the first time, you did the pruning, the root pruning, the defoliation. You show it 2 weeks, a month later. It's that's what I liked about your videos from the beginning, because we can see Nigel Saunders doing his stuff like the day up. He posted yesterday or something, right? And
I think he posts every day.
Every single day.
Every day.
So that's like one approach, is that you just keep doing it every day and you have a playlist full of stuff, but then you can record like you do maybe a month ago, and now you're going to show this today and put out the video maybe tomorrow or something. Those, I think, really helped me see the progress happen, why we did those prunes, why we did the defoliation. Your American elm one recently, I love American elms. It grows wild out here, so I picked a lot of it during the spring. And what you were saying about the leaves and these little gnarls on the leaves that happen, those little bumps and everything, and how you treated it really spoke to me. And I actually did it to one of my trees, and it actually works.
Perfect.
You did it, man.
Perfect.
Let me ask you a question here. Like, do you do any other gardening outside of bonsai?
No. I had to think about it for a second. I used to before I did bonsai, but now not so much, no. I mean, one thing that I like to do besides bonsai, I guess, is like train trees in the ground, like landscaping trees. But then again, it's kind of a different variation of bonsai. It's still bonsai in some way. Instead of doing it in a pot, you're doing it in the ground.
The earth is the pot.
Yeah, there you go. So that's something that I like a lot. But yeah,
are you keeping it in the ground, or is it with the plan later to uproot it and get it into bonsai?
No, it's actually something that I'm keeping in the ground, and I'm just training it as a nice garden tree.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like the Japanese gardens, they all have wonderful landscape and look like
exactly
everywhere. Yeah, absolutely. So I know you came out here when you're about my age. You're in your early 30s or so, I'd guess.
Yes.
Born in the 80s, later 80s, perhaps. That kind of information is not out there. Just says you came out here when you're 18, and it was like around 2009 or something. Sorry to be stalking you or something.
No, 2007.
Okay, a couple of years.
That's when I came, yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, so you came out here having some knowledge of bonsai already, but what was like what really got you started? Did you start buying stock trees? Did you have someone give you a tree? What launched this bonsai supply thing you have going on now?
So my mom really lit a fire of bonsai in me growing up, because she used to travel the world when she was in her 20s. And she stopped in Japan and lived there for 2 years. And at night she would work at a restaurant, and during the day she would work at a bonsai garden. And then so she taught me everything that I know, sort of growing up. She taught me, but it was not so much of like going deep into bonsai. It was more like having a tree, watering it, pruning it a little bit. There was no advanced bonsai techniques that she taught me. And so when I moved to the United States at 18 years old, I moved to Massachusetts. And I didn't do bonsai there, and it was too cold. So Switzerland was really cold. I moved to Massachusetts, extremely cold. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to move to Chicago, was even
yeah.
And then in 2011, I moved to Florida, finally. And that's when I saw that I didn't need to have a greenhouse to overwinter my trees. And that's what really kind of rekindled the fire in me of bonsai. And that's when I really dove deep. And I started watching YouTube videos, and I really started to advance my knowledge. Getting really good at bonsai really came with the business with the bonsai supply. Mm-hmm. And the way we started was actually kind of like an accident, because when I started in Florida, it was very difficult to get supplies like containers or soil or tools or really anything good. And so one year I decided that I'm going to, for vacation, I'm going to go to China. and I'm gonna go to the factories and buy some supplies and just bring them home. So I went there for a month and a half, and I traveled from Shanghai to Beijing, and I met with all of the manufacturers and suppliers, and I was really surprised at how cheap things were over there. And so I ordered an entire pallet and I shipped it home. And so when I got back to Florida, I told all of my friends, hey, I'm bringing some bonsai supplies from China, and I ordered a pallet, which is way too much. I'll share with you guys. And right around that first pallet, I met my wife. And so she was at my house, and my friends came and they bought everything. They bought the entire pallet in like an hour. Everything was gone. And so I said to my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, I said, now I have nothing again. So let me pick up the phone, and I'm going to take the money from the first pallet, and I'm going to buy 3 pallets. And then I'm going to be sure that I have something for myself. So the 3 pallets arrived. Everything was gone again, because these people now told other people. And then it just snowballed, really. And after like the first 10 pallets, my wife was like, this could be a business. And I was like, I never even thought about that, but let's do it. Let's try something. And then about 6 months after that, after we launched the business, we opened up a store, and then everything is kind of history now. So
well, now you're in the big box stores with your soil. I mean, that is amazing thing. And you have an awesome book coming out. I can't wait to get that book. Hopefully it comes with a little signature on it. It'd be amazing.
Absolutely, man. For you, we'll make it happen.
That is outstanding. But yeah, it seems like Mari definitely is a big part of We Are the Bonsai Supply. I mean, she's all over the videos. She's like the big business side, like power duo stuff, which is another inspiration that you guys make on me, because my girlfriend, we're partners. We own this house together, and she really gets into the gardening with me. Not as much as Mari maybe with y'all, but I think the seeds are being planted there.
Yes,
it's sowing.
Absolutely.
It's about to grow.
Mari graduated from business school with a master's degree. And so it was the perfect match. I was the artist, and she makes me look good. She's really the brains of the operation. I'm just the looks.
You are definitely the looks.
That's what we joke about all the time. And so it was a perfect combination. You do that same with your girlfriend. That's awesome.
I definitely will give you all the credit. The seed is planted. I will give you all the credit if that happens, my friend. That is outstanding. Let's talk some more bonsai here. So we're doing this beginner show. It's catered for beginners that have never even thought about it, and just to get their eyes on a little bit of how easy it can be to get started. It's not where you want to be, but it's where to get started. So what are some of the biggest beginner mistakes that you see more common out there?
I would say the biggest mistake that I see, especially for beginners, is that they want to do bonsai before they want to learn the horticultural aspect of bonsai. And you really want to learn the horticulture first. Learn how to keep your tree alive and how to make it strong and healthy and happy, and learn the timings of bonsai. Learn when to repot, when to defoliate, when to wire, when to prune, And then the last thing to learn in bonsai is the styling aspect of it, because everything else comes first. And the biggest mistake that I see is that, and it's not really, I've done the same mistake, so everybody does that. People tell me, hey Jerome, my Japanese maple died, it just fried. And I'm like, well, where do you keep it? And they're like, well, I keep it inside in the bathroom. And you're like, well, there you go. So I would recommend, I guess my second advice is to grow things that naturally grow in your climate.
Yeah.
So if you don't see what you want to grow at your local nursery or in your neighborhood, then you should not grow it, most likely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I like about living in Texas. There's a lot of native trees out here, live oaks, gnarly bark things. And The elms out here too. We got a lot, a couple different types of elms. Cedar elm mostly. We see a lot of cedar elm out here. Smaller leaves on those, and yeah, that's great wisdom to impart on everybody, because it's a bit. You want to get right into bonsai, but you do need to remember it is a living tree, and you can't just go do all that work. I remember killing almost every juniper I've touched. Matter of fact, I've got a bench full of junipers here on my right. They're all still in their pot. I'm just a little worried about doing anything to them at the wrong time. So I'm actually doing that. I'm taking it and I'm just letting them sit in their pots. I'm learning to water them, making sure I get used to who they are, what they are. And then it's time to perhaps work on them, do a little styling, do something of that nature. But yes, that's something I had to learn on my own a lot, because, all the videos we watch on YouTube are doing almost everything all at once, the defoliation, the root pruning, the pruning, and all the stuff all at once. And you couldn't do that to almost any plant. And tropicals, you can seem to do that with a lot. And you specialize in tropicals, which my greenhouse is just full of stuff and experiments that I watched on your program. It's just crazy. The root over rock stuff, the statues with the bonsais are just just amazing to me. Where do you find those amazing statues?
Everywhere, especially like antique stores and like flea markets, and that's where you find a lot of good material. I found this statue actually in Thailand about 25 years ago. I was probably around 8 years old when I bought this statue.
Wow.
And I bought it at a flea market in Thailand, and I just had it all these years. And then when we were writing our book, we have a section that's called, how to create a style step by step. And we show it with photographs on how to exactly create like a root over statue. And so this was the sample tree that we used for the book to create it. And so I said, you know what, this is the perfect time to finally do something with this statue. eBay is also a really good place to find statues, or Etsy. Like if you type in a concrete statue, or these statues that are made out of clay are referred to as Shiwan statues. Shiwan. Even though they're not traditional Shiwan statues, so a statue like this is about $40. But if it was an actual Shiwan statue, it could be like $300-400. So there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
People don't really know what the value of Shiwan is, so they just call everything Shiwan, and that's where you find these type of statues.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's the best material that you found that for root over rock, statue wise? Concrete, is it made of maybe like a resin, a plastic, any sort of in particular?
I find a material that can age. So like clay can age, it gets like that washed up look, and concrete does the same. Terracotta is also really good. Porcelain does the same. Those I find are the best ones. Like resin or any like hard plastics, like these aquarium statues that you can find at like PetSmart. I find that they just don't look realistic enough, and the paint seems to wash off over time.
Yeah.
And so it looks bad at a certain point.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I had some resin. I made a resin river, and it looked just like it was water, and it just doesn't. It didn't look right. Eventually, it got this film over it that didn't seem to make it look like water anymore, and look like a piece of plastic on the soil. So, yeah, plastics. It's got to be a natural stone or some sort of natural material. That's wonderful to know that kind of stuff. I'd like to see maybe you guys go out and find those things at a flea market. Be a cool little video that you guys
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not your director.
Howdy y'all, Sunday morning here at the patio. As you can see, I've got my greenhouse all wrapped up because it was pretty cold last night. I've got my bonsai helper Aiden over here to help me take off all the blankets and everything that I placed on there because the sun's out and it's shining. All right, let's go. Hey, it looks like this greenhouse is ready for a full days of sun, huh?
Yeah.
That's right. Thanks for watching.
What's in this window?
Open it. Let's pull it open. Velcro.
Oh, you can actually see the greenhouse.
Feel warm in there?
Yeah.
No, I like it. I mean, if that's what people want to see, that's what we're gonna do, you know. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Well, oh, wonderful, man. What else could I ask you here? It's just an honor to talk to you in general, man.
No, thank you.
Yes, well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know I was late to this little...
No, don't worry about that. It's all good.
But cool, man. Well, thank you once again, Jerome. You've been cool. You've been hip. Stay cool. And
likewise.
I can't wait to see more of your videos in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. And congratulations on winning this one-on-one session that we're having right now. So,
you know, I've won a few things from you guys. I've been on your, I go on your streams a lot, your live streams. I won like 2 things from your, I think it was your Christmas stream. I was just quick to the draw on your answers, and I won a couple times, and you had to redraw because I kept winning. You're like, okay, this guy keeps winning too much. Don't win anymore.
Oh, that was you.
That's me, man.
I think
I'm a big fan.
It was rigged.
No, you started saying something and I knew what you're going to ask. It's sort of like, what's the best time to start repotting? And you start going spring, you know, you throw in spring real quick. And it was like, I was the first one on there, especially because we have 15, 30-second delays on these streams. It was easy for me to try to type in a season real fast.
Well, congratulations again. I did not know that was all you, but
your soil is absolutely my favorite soil, man. I filled up a 5-gallon bucket with all the stuff I have, and it is all We Are the Bonsai Supply.
Thank you so much. That's really good to hear. I mean, the soil is really what catapulted us. That's what really made us, that's what kind of put us on the map. The YouTube channel and then the soil. Those 2 ingredients together is what really worked for us. And so I'm really happy to hear that you like it.
What really did it was the demo you did. You had a pot full of dirt, pot full of your soil, and just like poured right through it. And you go, this is why we have the soil. You know, this is it. And you go, well, duh. All right, shut up and take my money, Jerome.
There is a third reason, or the third thing that people should do when they start bonsai, right? Is to use good soil.
Absolutely.
Because it's half the struggle. If you use good soil, everything else is so much easier. Everything. And we use the soil for everything. I mean, we've used it in Florida for tropicals. We use it up here in Georgia now for, you know, junipers, Japanese maples, cherry blossoms, azaleas. And then we have our manufacturing warehouse in Texas, actually in Houston. Yeah. And so we grow some cedar elms there, some live oaks, some ball cypresses, and they're all super happy.
Wow.
Oh.
Man, you're doing amazingly, and you keep it up. You're a huge name in bonsai to me, and
thank you.
In the world eventually. You're world renowned, aren't you?
You know, yes, yes and no. Like, what surprises me, and which you know from watching our live streams, that's something
all over the world.
That's crazy to me, because Mari, you know, she's like, where are you guys from? And people are like Indonesia and South America and Europe, and they all tune in at the same time to watch the live, and that's just absolutely amazing.
Wonderful.
That's incredible. So,
well, Jerome, thank you so much, and yeah, be cool, stay hip, man. That's all I can really say to you.
Same to you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good meeting you.
Thanks once again to Jerome from We Are the Bonsai Supply. Don't forget, you could check out their website. You could check out their YouTube. Search We Are the Bonsai Supply. Be cool, stay hip, and we'll see you next time. Bye.